Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Madness podcast. Here we talk about everything sweet and everything mad and everything in between. I am your host, Amanda Montoni. And as always, please guys, rate, subscribe, comment. It really is how we grow here at the Sweet Madness podcast and bring you more episodes of stuff that you want to hear. So today we have a special guest, and this special guest's, I have to enunciate. This special guest's name is
Stufats, aka Jeremy Melendez.
Jeremy Melendez. So Jeremy, can you tell the listeners / viewers, if they're on YouTube watching this, a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Went to theater for acting. Started acting a bit in the city. Went into film for a little bit. And got married. And I would say my main definition now is husband first. And just trying to find my way back into acting and doing some art as a full-time job while also being a husband.
Doing all the things.
And
following your heart's desire.
The big challenge of the world.
Yes, the big challenge of the world. So life has been full of changes for you. I mean, marriage is a big thing.
Yeah.
And also the big challenges of the world. Would you say you have your own definition of sweet madness? What does sweet madness mean to you?
If you look at the world and life in general, you're going to see like a lot of stuff is just crazy and inane. And I think my definition of sweet madness is embracing the chaos and finding the gems or the truffles within everything that is layered on top of it to stress you out.
The truffles.
Yeah.
The chocolate truffles, not the truffle oil?
Both. Yeah, I am a pig looking for the truffles of life, navigating through all the manure that is life right now.
All I'm thinking about is a movie.
Which one?
Manure! I hate manure!
Hoverboard.
Exactly. That's sort of what, like, for me, I call them nuggets. I call those truffles nuggets, and it's ironic because I'm a vegetarian.
Okay, I feel you.
so like, I look for the sweet, non-meat nuggets of life.
Beyond nuggets.
Beyond nuggets. The little nugs. So Jeremy, do you have a moment or a flash in time that you remember that was full of madness but had a really, really nice truffle?
Yeah, actually. I'd have to say in high school, I was really academically centered as a high school student for a while. I was in this after school program, which was in essence the chaos of my high school years. Every time I left school, I go to this law-based after school program. And it was just like having two different schools, two different sets of homework, a lot of stress, a lot of chaos. And it was through this law program, doing all these mock trials, constitutional debates, that I realized I liked performing. I would lose sleep. I would get stressed out. Like you go through your teenage angst on top of all of that. So I was just rebelling against the entire thing, but still doing it. I hated it. And yet for some reason I was excelling at it. People would tell me, oh, he's got to be a lawyer. He needs to go to law school. All I heard was he has to keep doing homework at least until he's 30. And I was just like, I don't want any of that. It just helped me discover that what they saw in me that they were trying to hone in on wasn't, this guy knows how to file paperwork. This guy knows how to write an essay. It's this guy knows how to convey the message clearly in person. This guy knows how to let you know what he's thinking when you ask him a question face to face. And that just came to me as like a resounding message of, dude, you're a performer. You're meant to be seen by the masses, and you're meant to like give them some kind of thesis for the night.
And make them feel something.
Yeah. And that's when I kind of honed in on it, that I didn't really enjoy the aspect of law per se, but I did love the courtroom settings, which was like my first stage.
Mm-hmm.
And
did that realization come to you kind of like a firecracker or like a spark? Like it just clicked one day?
It was more like a sliding.
It was a sliding. Okay.
Because when I was a kid, I was a church-going kid,
mm-hmm.
and they would have a lot of little activities and events down at the recreational halls of the church. And I would do some dances, some performances there, but they were all, extracurriculars, hobbies, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I outgrew them, that stopped. And then going to this law program took this like thing of mine that was off to the side collecting dust, and it like blew the dust off of it. And then as I kept doing law without me even knowing, it was the performance thing that was coming back to center.
Okay.
And so it was more like a sliding to me, which is like a reawakening of something that was warm when I was a kid. And by the time I was a teenager about to go off to college, it had reached true heat. It was time to start cooking with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you did like debates in school, or the law school specifically?
So the law program had me go to a bunch of venues. They would rent out venues. Some of them were like Columbia Law School classrooms, and we would just all congregate there. They would bring lawyers and judges on their off time to come and grade us,
mm-hmm.
and things like that. So that was just how that system was. I was just always going all around the city to different spots and competing against my fellow students. And yeah, that's how it all just kind of like came to be. Mm-hmm. By the time I was graduating high school, I shocked a lot of people because they were all just like, so what's your major? They were thinking, is it criminal law? Is it, elder law? What kind of law is it? And I was like, it's acting. And they were just like, what? And they still are in many ways.
Oh man, a lot of what I appreciate about acting and speech and debate and even law,
mm-hmm.
It really brings out public speaking and social skills that a lot of people don't realize are not touched upon
mm-hmm.
in our early years. Even me being a lover of theater since I was basically out of the womb. Even me being a lover of theater since I was a kid, like I was still very insecure and did not know how to present myself, even though I was in the genre of dance and theater, because there are those critical social and public speaking skills that were not taught to me in a regular classroom, that were not taught to me, in my household.
Mm-hmm.
Your household, like your home, you're talking like your family is,
yeah.
Like I would get like Italian slang here and there, and then like, broken English, and then I would get like very Queens like terminology. And then when I moved to Long Island, forget about it. Like I was just like, coffee? What?
Water.
And so like that's like a big reason why I'm such an advocate for the arts, is because it teaches fundamental skills you need to have certain occupations in the world.
Oh yeah.
To get certain occupations in the world.
I resonate with that a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, like kindergarten kind of stuff, I had a really bad stutter. If you hang out with me even now, you'll still find it. I'll still have certain moments where a consonant will have to repeat itself maybe like 8 times before the word comes out. But those are like rarities now. And when I was a kid, though, I'd have to like blink it out. I would really like struggle with that. And those hobby kind of events I spoke to back in like the church recreational halls and things, those were kind of the stepping stones to not me defining myself as who I am now as a man who wants to be a performer, but my stutter hushed me a lot. And at that young age, still being able to like touch a stage and just being able to hone in on a moment where all the eyes were on me and I had to make sure I kept going. It was a good push that kind of thwarted the initial thought that a presence of a stutter can give you, which is shut up. And so I stuttered enough to where I was already hearing the instinct of just shut up, that performing shut that up.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I resonate with that, but in a different way. Like when I was growing up, I mean, I lived in a very vivacious household. So there was a lot of loud noise, right? And when I was a kid, if there were arguments going on and stuff, if I voiced my opinion, if things were heated, I basically was told or felt like I was wrong to be speaking up. Like I got the message, especially as a female, I got the message, no, you be quiet, you don't have opinions. And performing was my way of speaking. Performing was my way of like getting out. It first started with dance, and I so appreciate that because internalizing that all the time, and not knowing my voice yet, I'm still working on finding my voice. Not knowing my voice yet, it goes out through the body. And it's such an interesting way of expression because so much is said from just one little simple hand movement or one little simple point of the foot. And then when I started getting into theater, I was like, oh, okay. Now the voice comes into play as well as dance. And then music, forget about it. It's like, I resonate with that. Like in my mind, I was hearing, shut up, be quiet, shut up, be quiet. You're not allowed to have opinions. Your feelings are invalidated all the time. So don't even express them so you don't trigger other people with when you do want to speak up. You know, it's that endless like, you know, vicious cycle of back and forth. And I used to seclude myself because of that. I was like, well, if I'm being told to be quiet and my feelings are not validated, or I am, you know, my opinions are not being listened to with an open mind, then I'm just going to remove myself, and then I force myself to shut up. You know, so theater was very much a way of bringing my inner voice out. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. For me, it isn't so much of don't speak up because you'll get them mad. It came off with me with like, I always spoke up with the desire to like, I want to make you guys laugh. I want to tell you guys something funny right now. Or I want to tell you guys something that's like, I'm going to spill some tea on a cousin and we'll all just have a good moment. And
like harmless tea?
Yeah, you know, like you know this guy, he made a steak and he messed it up, you know what I mean? But these would always like, I'm very nuanced. I'm always like, I'm thinking too much a lot. And as a stutterer, that compounds on itself. So like, I find myself witnessing myself speaking sometimes. Like I'm so existential within my own speech in front of people. I start throwing the judgments towards myself. And then that kind of ruins at many times the performance of what I'm trying to do right then and there. So it isn't so much that I'm told, shut up, don't speak up. It's more like I'm looking at everybody's faces and then I'm having like two different thought process. What I'm saying and what I'm thinking are like about to clash. It's
not like a direct telling you to shut up. It's all in the social cues. It's never like direct. Like for me, it wasn't direct. Like I wasn't told to shut up as a kid. But like just like learning patterns of people's reactions and seeing how society reacts to certain things and having, you know, certain facial expressions. It's all societal and social.
We'd be more blissful if we were more ignorant of that kind of stuff. Just being able to sail the waters without knowing like these sharks are there.
Right. I mean, in a way, but then also in another way, if we were all ignorant about it, then would there be a possibility to improve that with knowledge?
I think the world shouldn't be ignorant about it. I think people
yes.
who are overly aware, I think they can use
okay.
a dose of some ignorance of all those details.
Yes. I am also an overthinker like you. I'm constantly just...
We aim to please.
Yeah. And, being a people pleaser sucks.
Yes, it does.
Because it doesn't build your boundaries, and then you start abandoning yourself, which isn't good either.
Yeah, I find myself that I'm not old yet. I'm 32, but at this age now, I'm just discovering this muscle that I have used for so long to please others, and I'm finally finding the muscle of the selfishness. It's me
too. Yeah.
It's you're finding it now, and it's oh crap, little buddy, you're almost atrophied. I gotta start using you now. If you don't use it, you lose it, kind of thing.
Right.
And I feel it's definitely a stumble forward, because as much as I want to entertain, I also just want to be.
Yes.
And it's hard to be when you first discovering your existence through the crowd's reactions of you. So it's to hone in on the simple of it all kind of takes some time.
Yeah, and it's get out of that dance monkey dance. Okay. Or dance monkey dance. No, I am a monkey of worth. Like that sort of thing. Yeah, no, I totally resonate with that. I'm still discovering new things about myself, and I am 31. So, kids, you never stop growing. And I say kids because we all have our inner kid in us.
It's funny. I refuse to define myself as a man. I'm not a man. I picture a man. I was raised with this, a lot of cousins were just you can't talk to me like that. I'm a man. I'm I'm never at this age or at this peak yet where I'm I've become a man. I find myself I'm a dude. I'm a guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think a guy is the best way to define me, because I think of a man. I think the man is that. A full, I have a certain level of dignity and standard, and I have boundaries, and that's all nice, but I also, I'm...
Stopping yourself from actually opening your mind.
You're a gear in this machine. You're a cog in something that's already been made before you. And...
You said it.
Yeah, when I think of man, I think okay, you've officially sprouted all of your little pieces of your circle. Now you can fit in the machine and spin proudly, but you'll never move. And I always find myself thinking about that. Are you a man yet? I kind of don't ever want to be a man. I always want to just be a guy. I just want to be Jeremy.
You just want to be human.
Yeah.
You just want to be human. I love that. I love your analogy for that too, because it says so much. There are so many layers in that I could go into and try to explain.
I love that.
But it's when you define as that the way that you're expressing man is almost hey, you've peaked. You're done. Yeah. You're done. And it's the reality is you're never done. I say this all the time. Change keeps happening. The world is going to keep changing. If you decide that you're done, well, guess what? You're going to fall behind and not go with the world. And also, that's how you become prideful and spiteful in the bad way. Prideful in the bad way. Yeah. You can be proud of yourself for the good things. But, become rigid.
Yeah.
And who wants to be known as a rigid person? Who wants to be with a rigid person?
I think it's a matter of internal versus external.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
I think there's a give and take. It's like an alchemy. If you become a rigid person, your life in essence can become cozy.
Yes, but then also there's an aspect of that are you fulfilled? Do you have regrets? Are you lonely? Are you letting your regrets take over your life? Are you cozy but also really not happy?
Are you anxiously still?
Yes. Yes. That's why I quote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, that book a lot by Mark Manson. He has his own podcast. It's great. It's called The Subtle Art Podcast, I think.
Okay.
And he says something, and I'm totally misquoting this, and he's like, the minute you think you know everything, you know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you have that sense of, I know everything, I grew, I'm done, I don't have to do anything more, you're going to fall behind, and also you're probably going to be severely unhappy and unfulfilled, and also you might become an asshole. Like, so like, that's why it's like so important to have this element of being open to things.
Yeah.
And being open to learning new things every day. And, you know, that saying is true. You learn something new every day. You do, because guess what? The world keeps changing.
Mm-hmm.
And different perspectives come into play. And it's just like, dudes, just like calm down. And when I say dudes, I say general dudes, like he, she, them, theys, all of the dudes.
Dudes, duders, dudettes.
All
of them.
Non-gender.
And the duds.
And the duds. Like dudes, like, it's okay. Like, it's just breathe for a second and then try to see another perspective, and the world will be a better place, honestly.
You know, it's funny, like, when it comes to this, like, perception of life, it kind of reminds me of two English teachers I had back in high school. They both offered a different perspective, and together they kind of made how I kind of view things now when it comes to the existential dread of things. One teacher, his name was Mr. Harris. He was amazing. He taught me a lot of cool stuff. He brought in the whole aspect of existentialism, transcendentalism, which is pretty much, not to mansplain, but just to give you a quick thing, it's like...
People might not know.
Yeah, God is the ingredients of the world. You walk through the forest, you're surrounded by trees, you are in the presence of God. Like the grass, everything, the whole machine that is earth, that is God. And you can worship that. There was some guy, I'm not sure if it was Walt Whitman or Henry David Thoreau, he spent a long time in the forest, which was just like acres of someone's backyard. He just lived there, just wanting to like really find the essence of nature, transcendentalism. And it kind of always sparks a thought in my head, even now. Like, you hear so many things like majority of the ocean hasn't been explored. There are species that are still being discovered. And it's like, you know, like, life in itself is complex. And if we're all ingredients of it, it's safe to say there's so many... The oceans within ourselves haven't been completely explored. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even know yourself fully because you haven't put yourself in every kind of possible experience to know your definition in it.
Right, exactly.
And then there's this other English teacher I had that was just all about poems, all about literature, and just seeing how there's been billions of people in the world. In a way, because of that, every experience has been had. There'll be somebody in history, maybe your life path doppelganger did exactly the same choices as you 3,000 years ago. Like maybe there was like your own essences were back there. And there's one poem that stuck with me from all of this. I don't know the exact name, but if you go on YouTube and you look up sunscreen or sunblock poem, there's like this cool 3 or 4 minute video on YouTube, and it's this whole poem. It's kind of touches on what you were talking about, just like being rigid, being stuck in life. It's the antithesis. The poem is pretty much talking about the opposite type of a human. It says things like, the most interesting people in the world that I've met are people who are in their 40s and have no idea what they want to do with themselves. And they have a bunch of quirky things where move to New York, but leave before it makes you too hard. Move to Northern Cali, but then leave before it makes you too soft. You know what I mean? So it was just this beautiful poem that stuck with me, and it repeats itself a lot in my head when I find myself in these moments of like, I'm about to make a choice. Is it a choice based on fear? Is it a choice based on an angry desire? Like, damn it, I'm gonna do this. Or is it just you're at peace and it's just the next choice that you want to make? And I always find myself trying to do things in the latter, like resounding with these poems and this transcendentalist view of like, I am, I can, I will.
I am, I can, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it goes back to like people, like with choices, people ultimately, if they really want to, they'll make it happen.
Right.
Like they'll make it happen some way or another. And then there's the flip side of that, you know, a lot of people with the relationships, oh, if he wanted to, he would. And it's like, there's context in there. Let's not make that a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not make that a blanket thing. But like in terms of what you want as a person for your own life, like if you want a Big Mac and you know that you shouldn't, but you really want this Big Mac, you're going to go find a way to get that Big Mac. You probably got it. You were like, okay, I really shouldn't. I'm driving home, I'm driving home. I don't want the Big Mac. Nope, I'm on a diet. I got to do this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you see McDonald's and you're like, F it. And then you turn around and you go, you get it.
But for me, it's like that can be completed perfectly if you make that quick choice, you eat the Big Mac. But then when you get home, without freaking yourself out, you tell yourself you got to do something now to undo the Big Mac.
Right. And also like give yourself, like if you're like really like, oh my God, I messed up my diet, I'm such a piece of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like first of all, you're human, okay? Like you are human. Give yourself grace. You are allowed to have setbacks.
Yes.
You're allowed to have a setback and you're allowed to make mistakes. It's what you learn from those mistakes that matter.
Definitely.
And I think I heard somewhere that I think it takes like thousands of times before you actually learn a lesson from a mistake. That's why if you're like, in your life, like this certain problem keeps popping up, it's because things have to be repeated each time for you to actually like fully learn from the mistake and not make the same one again.
That reminds me of something I heard about meditation.
I
heard someone say...
you have to keep doing it. It's about consistency.
And what was the exact saying? It was something along the lines of when you're meditating, if your brain takes you to a dark place 1,000,000 times in a row, you have to love yourself enough to bring yourself back to a lit place 1,000,001 times.
Yep.
And it's just like, it's about consistency and just doing it over and over and over. It's like 3 weeks to make a habit, but how long to learn a lesson?
And yeah, especially because we are human. Human means we will do things for different reasons and based on emotion and you know, like all of the things come into play. That's why that's what I struggle with. I've always been very overcritical of myself because like I'm like, no, I have to do things perfect the first time, and it's like that's not possible, and it's not instant either. Like in order to make a habit a style, you have to just show up every day. But when you show up, it could be different degrees of showing up. It doesn't have to always be 100%.
And I mean, perfection is a lot like immortality. Like things are beautiful for us right now because like we know we're gonna die one day. So like it's good to like, wow, this is happening right now. Embrace it. But if you're around forever, it's like bleh. And it's like if you're doing everything so perfect, the mistakes are the real beauty in things.
Exactly. Which brings us back to sweet madness.
Yes. Exactly that.
It's all sweet madness. Yeah, life is full of things. Good, bad, things just are. It's how you look at it and your perspective that matters. Right?
My biggest fight against the world is that statement though. Like things just are. I think there are a lot of things that just are. And I always define those things as what nature has made.
Okay.
But then when there's things that man has made, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I get it, the economy, it's important, it's old, it's fundamental. But like, if man made it, men should change it. And I just mean like humans, not males. But there are so many things that we as a species have made, and we pull it up and we like hang it in the same standard as like a tree that's been growing since BC.
I totally see your point.
They're not the same. You could knock down that man construct and build it up again better.
Right. Yeah. No, like there are things you can change. Like definitely there are things you can change, but accepting them as they are first is a very important step so that it can be changed if it's negative for you.
What's that like? With discipline comes freedom.
Yeah, I think something like that's why consistency matters too. Like self-discipline and consistency. If you want to make a change, you need to discipline yourself to make sure it gets done, but also give yourself the grace if you have a setback. So it's very much like I know people like to see things black and white, but nothing is black and white. Like even what we're talking about now, there's different sides of things. There's context.
Mm-hmm.
And people like to see right or wrong or left or right or good or bad, when in reality they're everything all at once.
Yeah. It kind of makes me think of Kirby. You know who Kirby is, the Nintendo character?
I was thinking of the toy from the 90s.
It might be the same thing. It's this pink creature.
It has the point. It kind of look like Gremlins.
A bit.
Okay.
And she like inhales people through her mouth. It's like a Mario innocent kind of thing.
I'm mortified.
But like, okay, so there's this character named Kirby. And she's almost like the personification of this topic. If she's fighting
Furby.
Mario.
It's Furby.
Oh, you were thinking Furby.
I was thinking Furby.
Oh no, Kirby is like Mario, Donkey Kong. Like if you play a Nintendo game of Ensemble, she's in there somewhere.
No, I know of Kirby now. I'm picturing Kirby now.
So like when you fight somebody, you get to like inhale them into your mouth and kind of just like absorb their essence and spit them back out. And now if it's Mario, you are like Mario Kirby for a second. And it's like that's the same way with discipline. It's like you have to almost take in the thing that you want to fix, the thing that you see that you don't like and you want to like change it. You first have to master it. So you have to like almost let it inside and like become a part of it. And then you can redefine it because you've been defined by it. Therefore you get it. It's like a big give and take when it comes to wanting to change things. Yeah. And you have to take some things in and take it as yourself to change it for like the next group or something. And then if it's something negative or even just something you want to like flow the way you do, you have to take, I say let it go, let it flow a lot. That first step of let it go, let it flow is take it in, acknowledge it, absorb it, and then you can let it go, and then everything will flow because you took the time to actually process what the heck is going on and then actually like assess what this thing is, so then now you can absorb it and accept it for what it is, and then make it do the thing you want it to do. That to me is like the last big step of like getting it in life, like that impatience to want to get something done, but you just have to like for a second sit down and just like be in it, and then you can change it, especially today because everybody wants everything instantly, and it's like no, it's that's not how it works. The the advancement of technology and the internet has steered us wrong in some ways. But there are a lot of ways that it's good. Hey, it's not all black. It's not all white. It's gray. Yep. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, Jeremy, this was a very cool conversation. Thanks. I want to thank you for being on the podcast. I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. Yay. I haven't been through this level of introspection and philosophical discourse in quite some time. Oh, very cool. I'm very happy I could provide it for you. We have the platform here for you. Great. And for those listening, I thank you for being here, and don't forget to subscribe to the Sweet Madness newsletter on amandamontoni.com. That's where, I send out my ramblings, my thoughts, and stuff that happened personally and how it all ties into, the sweet madness of life. If you need words of encouragement, those are there too. Also, we got merch! Merch. Ooh. This is my favorite piece of merch, the Sweet Madness beanie. It's so comfy, and it could be worn all year round. I love it. Not just in winter. So go ahead to amandamontoni.com to get that. And Jeremy, do you want to sign them off? I think I have just gotten my dose of some sweet madness today. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching/listening.